Wheel of Sharks!
On this wheel are the names of 14 terrible shark movies. I'm going to spin this wheel 3 times, and whatever movies it lands on, I will have to watch and review. I don't even know what movies I'm going to be watching. Will it be Jurassic Shark, or maybe Santa Jaws? Who's to say? But one thing's for sure, they're all going to be shark-tastic pieces of shit. What up, nerds? I'm Alex Brisson, and this is Brisflix, a show where I watch terrible movies and act like I hate them, but I'm not fooling anybody. You know I love them. Shark movies have been around since the early days of cinema, emerging from humble beginnings as B-movies in the 1930s and steadily evolving into the six-headed mutant freaks you'll see today. A major turning point for the genre and the film industry at large was, of course, Jaws. In 1975, Jaws was released and became the highest grossing film of its time, earning over $300 million in the box office.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
It also spawned a generation of schlocky sequels and rip-offs, each of them trying desperately to gobble up those delicious dollars from America's unquenchable shark obsession. There's been some good ones, like The Shallows, 47 Meters Down, or Deep Blue Sea. But then came the film that changed everything. The 2013 Sci-Fi Channel original, Sharknado. A campy, low-budget, made-for-TV movie with a hokey concept and horrendous special effects. And yet, the film was a huge hit. It developed a massive cult following, and it spawned not 1, not 2, but 5 sequels.
Too many of them! We're gonna need a bigger chopper!
It turns out people don't want compelling storytelling, or beautiful cinematography, or even a coherent plot. They just want sharks. So production companies started cranking out literally any movie that they could think of that had the word shark in the title. Which brings us to today. The 14 selections for Wheel of Sharks are Sharkvalanche, Shark Exorcist, Sharks of the Corn, Toxic Shark, Ouija Shark, House Shark, Six-Headed Shark Attack, Mega Shark vs. Mecha Shark, Land Shark, Sky Sharks, Robo Shark, Jurassic Shark, Sharkenstein, and Santa Jaws. So without further ado, let's give this baby a spin. Sharkenstein! It's alive! It's alive!
It's alive! It's alive!
Sharkenstein is exactly what it sounds like. It's Frankenstein, but with a shark instead. We open in 1940s Germany, where Dr. Frankenstein is peacefully minding his own business, sewing together dead bodies that he stole from the cemetery, when suddenly a bunch of out-of-uniform Nazis bust in and try to recruit him.
Mein Führer has a deep interest in the work you are doing.
I feel like the director didn't know the difference between Nazis and neo-Nazis.
I will not turn my work over to butchers!
This was kind of confusing to me at first because I would have expected Dr. Frankenstein and the Nazis to be kindred spirits, but I guess he thinks he's too good for them. But then I realized Frankenstein, he's clearly Jewish.
It's pronounced Frankenstein.
So we skip to present day and meet our hero, Madge, a perpetually scowling woman who spends every waking moment complaining.
We've been planning this excursion for weeks, and our intentions were to leave all this baggage behind.
Why we bring you then?
But she has read the entire Frankenstein Wikipedia page.
The Frankenstein book and movies differ greatly, and the most famous series are the old Universal films and the British Hammer films. There's the original Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and House of Frankenstein.
Impressive. She's a real Frankenhead. Oh, but she's not done yet.
Now the Hammer films.
Curse of Frankenstein, Revenge of Frankenstein, Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, Frankenstein Created Woman, Horror of Frankenstein, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell.
Don't forget Frankenstein Family Reunion, Frankenstein's Pizza Parlor, Frankenstein Takes Korea, and Son of Frankenstein. So Madge is going on vacation with these two unfuckable doofuses, Coop and Skip, who I will henceforth refer to as Backwards Hat and Sideways Hat. I feel like these characters were written to be 16 years old, but the only people available to play them were these two 40-year-old dweebs.
People disappear in the ocean every day.
Coop likes to look at his phone. That's his only personality trait.
Madge, you have your books, I have my electronic devices.
Now let's get our stuff, gang.
I have everything I need.
And Skip delivers all of his lines like this.
I don't want to get stuck out in the water in a boat when it's gonna pour down rain. Do you?
I'm just a hilarious nitwit. I feel like they told him he was comic relief and then they just didn't write him any jokes.
Yep. Everything on the internet is true.
So they arrive at the cove and walk down the dock. It's important that we see every second of this, and even cut to multiple different angles. There, they meet their mute boat pilot, Hoskins, who communicates primarily through nods and hand gestures. I feel like this was the director's friend who was like, fine, I'll be in your dumb movie, but I don't want any lines. But then something terrible happens. Skip and Coop take their shirts off.
We better get a refund.
Finally, the sex appeal this movie's been missing. I think they also use Skip's torso to white balance this scene. Later, our heroes discover a mysterious lab, where they meet Klaus, the Nazi scientist who created Sharkenstein.
The heart and brain of the Frankenstein monster. Still alive. Here.
But anybody who's seen the original Frankenstein knows that the monster's brain was the worst part of him. It was an abnormal brain, so it would be the least valuable component for them to preserve.
You will assist me in putting the monster's heart and brain into my super shock.
So our heroes help this mad scientist to perform the surgery. He gets out his surgical tools, which consists of 3 kitchen knives and a pair of scissors. Skip holds the flashlight. Apparently that's the only contribution he needs to make. I'm just glad somebody has found a use for Skip. This part cracks me up though. The brain hole that they have cut into the shark is too small for the monster brain prop that they have. He's like, just gonna kind of shove this monster brain into the shark here. Just gonna kind of really just wedge it in there. So they zap the shark to life using this iMovie stock sound effect ad nauseum. So they finally resurrect Sharkenstein, and this is when the movie gets good. Just kidding, it continues to be equally shitty. Klaus has this weird dom-sub thing going on with the shark.
Obey. I am your master. Obey me. I am your master. Obey me. Obey me. I am your master and you will obey. You will obey. Obey. You will obey. You will obey.
You will call me daddy. Who is your daddy, Sharkenstein? Who is your daddy? So Sharkenstein kills Klaus. Then Sharkenstein goes and kills poor mute Hoskins. Hoskins never even got to tell us his last wishes, but I'm sure if he was here right now, he would probably say something like... Then Sharkenstein kills Skip.
We need to get to shore.
She's right.
No! Skip!
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn our dear departed friend, Skipathy Beauregard. Many of us loved Skip for his wildly misplaced facial expressions and wacky eyebrows. He will be sorely missed. Good night, sweet prince. Next, the zapping sound effects return and cause Sharkenstein to grow arms and legs, giving him the ability to walk on land.
Walk like a shark, walk like a shark, walk like a shark, Sharkenstein. No meal is worth swimming through the dirt, so walk like a shark, Sharkenstein.
Eventually, Sharkenstein gets the attention of an angry mob of 7 people.
Yeah! Let's go kill this instant! Yeah!
Some of whom wave around unlit torches. I assume the director told them that the fire would be added in post, and sometimes it is, but oftentimes they're just unlit torches. Later, Madge and the sheriff prepare for the final showdown by wiring up a bunch of dynamite around a lighthouse. This is done through a montage. Ordinarily, a montage is used to compress time so that you don't have to show every single moment, but not in this film. Then, all that's left to do is lure Sharkenstein to them.
I could have saved you the trouble.
How so?
I had my period.
Gross.
Oh, that right there, folks, is pure, unadulterated comedy. How do they come up with this stuff? Anyway, They blow up the lighthouse with Sharkenstein and the sheriff inside, and everybody lives happily ever after.
It'll never be over. The brain and heart of the Frankenstein monster can never be destroyed. Never be destroyed.
So that's Sharkenstein. It's terrible. Like, really bad. And it seems to know that, but that doesn't help. I give it 1 out of 50 severed hands. If you're looking for like a dumb, schlocky movie to watch with your friends on a bad movie night, this is not it. I can't think of any context in which watching this film will be enjoyable. Let's get back to the wheel. And away we go. House shark. All right, I'm pretty excited about this one. I mean, is it literally just a shark inside of a house? Because that sounds hilarious. One thing's for sure, it cannot be as bad as Sharkenstein. I'm gonna go watch it and find out. Okay, I'm back, and that was bad. Like, really bad. Definitely worse than Sharkenstein.
We're gonna need a bigger house. It's all about size, Hugh, isn't it, Frank? No!
It's clearly just a group of friends with little to no experience that were like, hey, let's shoot a movie in my backyard. It has a YouTube-y kind of feeling to it, which is occasionally endearing.
Ah! How did he get behind us? He's got a gun!
And unlike Sharkenstein, where it felt like the actors were being held at gunpoint, you can tell that the performers in this one are at least having a good time. But clearly the filmmakers know that this movie is dumb as f***, so they really lean into the comedy of it. And their comedic sensibilities are primarily dick jokes, poop jokes, and cum jokes. Ugh.
One of us gets in the suits, presents his anus, hope the shark thinks it's a vagina.
I don't want anyone catching us with your fingers up my butt.
You know, I heard when a shark is attacking, you stick 2 fingers in its anus.
What's that attached to his finger? Looks like an anus.
He had the blackest of eyes, like a porn star's anus before it's bleached.
One shot from this will blow a man's dick clear off.
The smell of freshly soiled pants.
You must be that hooker I ordered. Damn, you one hot
Blood, guts, balls, vaginas.
There is a monster. It's got a penis, but tits too. I am not letting Al Shark have sex with me. I'll just let him put the tip in the tip.
So yeah, it's the story of a 22-year-old ex-cop with a 12-year-old son whose lives get turned upside down when their house becomes residence of a house shark. So he puts his house on the market, and the realty company sends a rotating door of racist caricatures to try and remove the shark. First, it's a Native American Jedi named Darth Squanto.
Once the shark walked the land, much like the buffalo. We hunted their herds, wore their skins, ate their flesh, and gave humble praise to their spirit.
Thankfully, Squanto gets eaten immediately. I don't know how much of that I could have put up with.
Soon your home shall be rid of this demon.
Then it's this German guy that wears lederhosen.
I don't want to go inside. I just want to look in the windows.
Just when I thought you couldn't do a worse fake German accent than the one we heard in Sharkenstein, here comes this guy.
Is there some place around here where we can, how you say, grab a drink?
And then we have this guy, Abraham.
First crossed paths nearly 10 years ago. He bit off both my arms and my legs.
Pretty much from the moment Abraham shows up, this guy is running the show. He gets 50% of the dialogue, he gets all of the best jokes. He was clearly the funny guy of the friend group, and the director was just like, let's put Wes in this. He'll make it hilarious. He's great.
Enough galley-gabbing from you 2 teeny tiny string-bean little bitty penis men.
So these 3 go into the house and they duke it out with the house shark. The house shark actually looks, I mean, I wouldn't say good, but surprisingly decent. Like, they did make a legit shark costume, and while I hate to admit there was anything I enjoyed about this movie, there was one part I liked where they flood the house. They put this water filter over the video and all the actors just act like they're holding their breath and swimming around. It's pretty silly. Anyway, they eventually blow up the house and kill the shark and live happily ever after. I don't want to say that's the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's up there. I'll rate it 1 pair of lederhosen out of 3,000. This gets a solid do not watch from me. Knowing what you're making is stupid and acknowledging that it's stupid doesn't make it any less stupid. And boy, is this movie stupid.
I think we're gonna need a bigger bucket.
But I guess I promised you guys 3 movies, so back to the wheel for one final spin. Give me Santa Claus. Six-Headed Shark Attack. Let's hope that this one will be just a teeny tiny bit better than the last 2. Please, 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 Shark God, hear my prayer.
Don't hold your breath, kid.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I found that movie surprisingly enjoyable. I'm not sure if it's just because my threshold for bad movies is really high right now after those last 2. Six-Headed Shark Attack was produced by Asylum. They notoriously mass-produce these schlocky B movies and knockoff movies like Top Gunner, The Fast and the Fierce, and Asteroidageddon.
It's a million dust particles from us blowing crap out of that asteroid.
It can't be!
Should have studied more astronomy, asshole.
Apparently these guys have released over 300 movies in the past 20 years, which is pretty impressive. Nobody can crank out terrible movies the way that Asylum does.
What we're dealing with is 6 interdependent great white sharks.
That grows its heads back every time you chop it off.
When I saw the title, Six-Headed Shark Attack, my immediate first question was, what's the configuration of the heads? Like, is it 2 rows of 3 heads? But it's way better than that. The heads go all the way around the shark, like some sort of big shark snowflake. I can't stop laughing about these back 2 heads that basically can't see anything that's going on and are pretty much just along for the ride. The movie takes place during a couple's retreat on a barren island, and is being led by this survivalist guy, Will, who ironically is going through a divorce.
Therapy through action is what this is. You're the therapist, I'm the action. It works because we work.
4 couples have come here to try and mend their shitty marriages. We meet our leading lady, Mary, who is a contract lawyer who took 12 years of gymnastics.
12 years of gymnastics.
That's not relevant, though. None of that's gonna come up at any point. We also meet her much older boyfriend, James, who's probably the last person on Earth who needs to be seen wearing a wetsuit. And even though at first glance he looks like a fat old ugly guy in a clown wig, he does have some redeeming qualities, like constantly being an asshole to everybody all the time.
I just don't think this obstacle course therapy is gonna help. I am so sick of your teamwork! Are you kidding me? You want us to swim?
But soon things go awry when, you know, a 6-headed shark starts eating people. So Duke, the crazed car salesman, goes out to kill the shark himself. I'm sure it's how he would have wanted to go. Then the 6-headed shark rips its own head off. How f***ing metal is that?
I should die too.
No. You know, Daphne, sometimes these things happen.
Yeah, you know, these things happen all the time. Sometimes you're trying to mend a relationship with your Crocodile Dundee-esque husband and he gets ripped into pieces by a 6-headed shark. No point dwelling on it. Next, there's a storm coming. So the couples have to make a decision to take shelter at either a World War I era lighthouse or the wreckage of a sea lab from 40 years ago. Guess which one they pick?
There's an old World War I lighthouse on the south side of the beach.
We're not going there.
We could go to the lab, it's right over there.
That place is a ruin. You people can't go there.
Let's go.
So they follow the dumbass hippies' advice and they go to the sea lab, where the hippies are promptly eaten by the shark. I bet that wasn't in her horoscope. Anyway, this next scene is my favorite part. They're running across the island to get to the lighthouse, when all of a sudden, this happens. That's right, the 6-headed shark is using its extra heads as legs to chase after these people. And what's worse is the moment this happens, all the human characters apparently forget how to use their own legs. Next, they devise a plan to take a bunch of oxygen canisters out to the beach so that when the shark gets near them, James can shoot them with a sniper rifle and blow up the shark. But when James shoots the shark in one of its heads, it's Well, it's probably better if I show you. That's right, the six-headed shark is now using its own severed head as a projectile weapon to kill people with. Is there anything this shark can't do? I like that the shark didn't even eat that guy. It's just murdering them at this point. Eventually, our heroes manage to attach the oxygen canisters to the six-headed shark and blow it up. And then the movie just sort of ends. And that's Six-Headed Shark Attack. Just a tiny slice of cinematic perfection. I'll give it 6 out of 6 severed shark heads. It's exactly what you would want from a dumb, schlocky shark movie. Throw it on with your friends and talk over the entire thing. Thanks for watching Wheel of Sharks. Comment below and let me know, what's your favorite dumb shark movie? Maybe I'll include it in Wheel of Sharks too. And make sure you subscribe or else I'll feed myself to the six-headed shark. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye!